Hello AOS fans, it is me, Pete, and I'm here with another deck video this week, and this week it's a slightly different deck video in that I didn't make it. One of our $10 supporters, a man, you may have heard his name before, he wanted us to play a specific match, one that he had actually played himself. He came second in the Adepticon 2019, and he wanted us to replay his final match. He was playing the Curse Breakers, and Robin is playing them, and the Thorns of the Briar Queen came first, and I will play in that deck, so you know, a little bit of pressure here. I'm going to have to try and repeat the previous win, or maybe I'll just throw the game so a man can see that his deck was actually alright. I'm joking, I'm not going to actually do that. So what have we got? Let's run through the cards. First one is Change of Tactics, pretty easy and nice instant score. Then Miraculous Escape, which should be fairly scoreable with a 2 dodge warband. Superior Tactician after that, was a pretty solid choice. Then Tactical Supremacies 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, 4. Obviously with all the bodies floating around, literally, you're going to be going after as many objectives as you can. And then got as Nagash Commands, which seems, it's another third end phase one, but it seems to go against the Tactical Supremacy 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 4, because you don't want anybody holding objectives, so not really sure if that's the best card to pick there, but what do I know, I've never been in the final. Swarming Spirits after that should be fairly easy to score, which is move 2 people through an opponent's hex. You do have to move them though, you can't use Varklav's Push. Treacherous Foe after that, play a reaction, which should be relatively easy to do. Robin can't stop me playing a reaction so long as he does some of the things that can instigate that reaction. Then Keep Them Guessing, which is a solid choice I think for any warband that has a optional extra action that isn't just the move, go on guard, charge and all the yada yada yada. Martyred after that, pretty solid choice because, you know, these spooky boys, they are fairly papery thin when they're not inspired, so that should be fairly easy to score. And Supremacy, stand on 3 objectives. Well, I've got the body, so that one should be fairly achievable too. A solid total glory score of 21 there, 5 instant scores, but 2 end phase ones, and I'm not really sure about that second, third end phase one of Nagash as Nagash Commands, but I'm not really sure maybe what I'd take in its place. So on to the gambits. What have we got here? Well, we've got Last Chance, a must-have in dodge-based decks, I think. Inspired Command, which I think I rubbished the leader deck when it came out all those moons ago, and I said it was terrible, but there are a few gems in there. This one and Quick Advance are 2 of them. With Inspired Command, you can either put someone on guard, or you can push them. Pushing them 1 hex can be very handy when you're on objective-based warband, getting people in position and jumping onto those hexes at the end without people being able to push you back off. I then have Endless Malice. If I'm making an attack and I miss, I can remake that attack. I probably won't be making that many attacks, but if I am making them, I want them to succeed wherever possible. Then Howling Vortex, still one of the best spells in the entire game, I think. Hopefully I can get that off and hopefully shove Robin all over the place and get him out of my way. And Maddening Cackle, this one's great against Stormcast especially, because after an enemy fights an attack that fails, they become uninspired and can no longer inspire. Very nasty indeed, especially against Stormcast warbands. I then have Spectral Parry, pick someone and put them on guard, helpful for Change of Tactics. Sudden Appearance next, take someone and put them on a starting hex. It's not a move, it's not a push, you just take someone and move someone, very helpful indeed. And then Confusion, swap 2 fighters over, that would be handy if someone's standing on an objective that I want to be on. And then Mirror Move. Now I'm not really sure about Mirror Move, I don't think it's got any use at all against the Curse Breakers. Maybe against a few other warbands it might be handy, but it's definitely not a card I would normally pick. I can see it's being picked for the manoeuvrability, being able to shove your guys around all over the place even more. I'm not sure if I'd ever take it though, if I'm honest. And Sidestep, which is the last one. Nice solid card, Sidestep is always helpful. I'd possibly replace Mirror Move with Distraction. That might be a better card, I think, possibly in this matchup, but possibly Mirror Move's better in a lot of others. And what are the upgrades that I've got to spend all the glorious glory on that I've been earning using all those gambits? Well, these are them. Acrobatic, a given I think with dodge-based warbands, especially when they can roll 2 dodges. Deathly Fortitude, I think the idea here is to be using your ploys and such to shove people around mostly where you want them, or some upgrades that are coming up, so you don't really care if they've got less movement. The Dazzling and Hallowed Keys, obviously if you're going for objectives you can grab some keys and get some extra glory at the end as well, 2 glory for each of them, one of those. The only problem I find with keys is that after you've used them the first time, if you're playing a best of 3 your opponent knows what's coming and therefore they can fight against that a little bit. But what do I know, like I say, I've never been in the final. Inescapable Vengeance next, very handy one. Shove the Queen, instead of a normal move you can put her on any starting hex, could be handy for grabbing objectives or sniping someone off in the backfield. Fameway Crystal next, just going for objectives there, very useful. Glory Seeker, +1 damage if your target has 4 or more wounds. Well, this could be handy put on the Queen or Varclav depending. Going after Stormcast, they're all going to have 4 or more wounds, so that could be very useful. Great strength as well, +1 damage. That combined with Glory Seeker could end up being a lot of damage. Probably even being able to one-shot any of the Stormcast unless they've got some serious upgrades on them. Slumbering Key next, another stand on objective card, but this one's only 1 glory, but it can be any objective, and Sudden Growth. So he's gone for Deathly Fortitude and Sudden Growth in here. Really wants to keep his main boys alive. The Queen and Varclav must survive. So that's the deck. Very objective based, very movie, very manoeuvrable. I like it, I like it. I can see how this got to a final. It's got the chance to score a lot of glory. 5 instant scores as well can be handy to get those early upgrades onto people to keep them surviving. Maddening Cackle could be a very nice kick in the teeth for depending on the warband you're up against, especially with someone like Mollog who happens to miss an attack. So he doesn't roll the best attack dice, only 2 hammers. Very helpful. I'm looking forward to see how I get on with this deck. My plan is mostly going to be swarm onto objectives, try and use my ploys to get onto objectives near the ends of turns or the ends of rounds, and hopefully use my upgrades to keep me as survivable as possible for as long as possible. Cursebreakers do have ranged attack in Acheron. Other than that, they just hit like trucks, so I'm hoping that I can weather the storm and crank up some glory and then get those keys on near the end. Let me know what you think of this deck. Like I say, it's not my deck, but it did come first in Adepticon, so it's hard to criticise a winning deck, but if you think there are any changes you'd make, do let me know. Obviously this deck was built with a tournament in mind and not just the Cursebreakers, because I do think that Mirror Move is certainly not one I would pick if I was going up against the Cursebreakers specifically. But it might be useful elsewhere, who knows. Anyway, I shall see you soon in the Mirrored City. Bye!